Hello and welcome to this episode of our podcast, where we will be discussing the doll test and the question of whether humans are born with prejudice against black people or if it is a learned behavior. The doll test is a psychological experiment that was first conducted in the 1940s by Dr. Kenneth Clark and his wife, Mamie Clark. It has since been replicated many times, and its results have had a lasting impact on our understanding of race and identity. What is the doll test? The doll test is a simple experiment that involves asking young children to choose between two dolls, one that is white and one that is black. The dolls are identical except for their skin color. The children are then asked a series of questions about the dolls, such as which one is prettier, smarter, or nicer. The purpose of the doll test is to see how children perceive race and to determine if they have internalized racial stereotypes. The test has been used to study the effects of racial segregation on children, as well as the impact of media and cultural representations on our perceptions of race. Results and key learnings. The doll test has been replicated many times, and the results have been consistent across generations and cultural contexts. In general, children of all races tend to show a preference for the white doll over the black doll. They also attribute positive characteristics to the white doll and negative characteristics to the black doll. Some key learnings from the doll test include: children are aware of racial differences at a young age. Even children as young as 3 years old have shown a preference for the white doll over the black doll in the doll test. This suggests that children are aware of racial differences from a very young age and that they may internalize negative stereotypes about their own race. Negative stereotypes about black people are pervasive in society. The fact that children tend to attribute negative characteristics to the black doll in the doll test suggests that negative stereotypes about black people are pervasive in society. This can have a profound impact on the self-esteem and sense of identity of black children, as well as other children who belong to marginalized groups. Representation matters. The doll test also highlights the importance of representation in media and cultural contexts. When children are exposed to positive representations of diverse groups, they are more likely to develop positive attitudes towards those groups. On the other hand, when they are exposed to negative representations or stereotypes, they are more likely to internalize those attitudes. Nature versus nurture. The doll test raises an important question about the origins of prejudice and racial stereotypes. Are humans born with an innate bias against black people, or is it a learned behavior? The answer is complex and multifaceted, but most experts agree that it is a combination of both nature and nurture. On the one hand, there is evidence to suggest that humans may be predisposed to categorizing people based on physical characteristics such as race. This may be an evolutionary adaptation that helped early humans to identify potential threats or allies. However, this does not necessarily mean that humans are born with a bias against black people specifically. On the other hand, there is also evidence to suggest that prejudice and racial stereotypes are learned behaviors that are shaped by social and cultural factors. For example, children may learn negative attitudes towards black people from their parents, peers, or media representations. Conclusion. In conclusion, the doll test is a powerful tool for studying the effects of racial segregation and stereotypes on young children. Its results have had a lasting impact on our understanding of race and identity, and they continue to inform research in this area.